Hello, I'm George Gonzalez, and I'm obsessed with making games. And today we are talking about party codes with Fusion. And we are only covering, I'm going to show you a specific way that I'm partying up in my game. But I want to make sure that you understand the principles because you can apply it to your game. And I prepare a recording where I walk through how I add it to my game using Fusion. But the main thing I want to the takeaways from this video that I want to make sure you understand is one, yes, you're going to get the information of how to add party code using Fusion. The second thing you're going to get is also understanding what it takes as you work on things, game dev wise. Because the whole point of my videos is to help you understand not just how to do things, but how to apply them to a working model or a game that's going to be live. Because a lot of times the tutorials deal with empty scenes, and there's very specific things that you'll see that apply and that you don't understand until you either test them out or actually launch a title. So I want to give you that experience. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you what I missed from the clip that I'm going to share with you and how I improved that. So I'm going to show you the video. I did try to cut out some of the fluff or the dead ends that I reached, but I still wanted to show you my thinking process, how I went about doing it from the beginning to end without knowing what was happening next. I could have prepared a video that I could have gone through everything and pretended like I knew everything. But I wanted to show you how it is in a workday for me so that you understand that it's not easy. I don't want it to be super edited out. I wanted to show you my thinking process, what I go through to test it and debug it. And even then, at the end of the video, I'll show you what I changed, I updated based on what I forgot to do, because there's always something that we forget. And even after that, there's still more that I need to do to really polish it, finish it, so that it's available for people to test. Okay, so hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see you at the end of the video with an update on what's going on. The first thing we need is an empty scene. Okay, so this empty scene is specifically for Fusion. I have another video where we went over same scene loading and party codes with Normcore, which is actually a lot easier. But I'm going to show you how to do it with Fusion too. So we need the empty scene because Fusion does not allow you to load the same scene again because it doesn't trigger the activation for the spawn mechanics and objects in the scene. Okay, so we're going to go scene. We're going to go back to the loading scene. I already added this to the build settings. So I have in the build settings here, the empty scene as the next scene. Now let's go over what we would need to do. So we have this connection manager. This is what connects us to the game. And we're going to get to the specifics, and I'll try to zoom in if we need to so you can see the code. Okay, so when you connect, some of these information, it gives you an idea of where to go. So for example, we have session properties. We already have the connection data party ID in there and the scene index. This allows us to connect to that specific scene and that specific party ID regardless. Okay, so I find this the easiest because you don't have to monitor private servers. The other way you could do it is in here, if you do session name, and then you give it a name. And usually you got to be aware of this. As you're going through specifics, you will do something like, let's say we have a string, we have scene index, that's up here somewhere. Yeah, scene index. So you have a string, say scene index, and you have connection data to string, and then you have the party code, which is connection data party code, party ID dot to string, right? Oh, it's already string. Okay, so we're good. And then you would do scene name because you don't want people with the same party code to access the same mechanic or the same lobby, but a different scene because that will not work. So then you have party code plus scene index or vice versa. It doesn't matter. And then this would be the scene name, and this would get you that connection. And then you have to say allow for game, like, do you want to allow for more rooms? And technically you're not going to be able to do that because it's a specific scene name. Okay, here's the enable client creation. Okay, so if you want a specific party, like, hey, I have this secret room and I want you to come to this specific one, you still need a way for the player to know which scene they're going to. So see that we have the scene. The only problem is that even if this property is different and you have the scene name, this scene name is very specific. There's only one at a time. And when you have a game where, in my game, for example, you jump in from scene to scene, and you might want to party up with people and do code 11555. And so then I say, hey guys, I'm gonna create a code room every day. I'm gonna play at 2 p.m. and we're gonna join room 1155. That's our code. And so then you put that number in, and then you jump in and play. And wherever you are, you'll see people in that, and that's it. You won't see people that have other session properties. That's why it's important, because this will not work with that. And so when you are thinking about matchmaking and partying up, you have to think about what will the players want to experience and focus on that. That is the big thing. You want to you don't want to create all these weird rules and then have to say, well, that's not how it works, and have to teach them, because then they'll just leave. You got to try to figure out the best way to match them. And so what we're going to do today, what I'm trying to do, is the full version of this, not just being able to party up, but also be able to save it and come, and leave and come back and whatnot. So that's the first explanation. We already have it set up. All we have to do is figure out how to add this to that. So these connection data, let's look into that. So for if you've seen my videos, I'll try to link it below. I have this set up. I show you how to do this. Okay, how to grab all this information, what all these things mean, and we go over this. So I'm not going to go over this again, but you can take a screenshot and copy it. That's all it is. There's not much more. There's a try to reconnect, but that's not even, and then shutdowns, Oculus code if you need it, but that's not needed either. Okay, the main thing is here. We're not going to use this. Right here, we're going to string party ID equals C, and then we're going to do we're going to do player prefs. Hold on, party ID. Okay, and this will be the most easier thing to do, and I'll show you. We'll do Chat GPT, and we'll run something. I'll show you how I use it. Okay, we'll go to Chat GPT 5. Let's try it. Okay, so what I'm going to say is, hey, I need to use. Oh, let me see. I need to use. Or let me see. I am in Unity. Coding. I need to save and load a player pref string, or a string, load a string into player prefs. I need the load player pref. Let me see. The string is a private party string. I need the load function to be separate, because I will have that in another version, or in another script. I will have a code monitor that the player will input for values to launch the code. Okay. And then, okay. When the player inputs the code, we will save that to the player prefs with this function. Okay, so we're just kind of trying to say, okay, we need two parts: save and load, and it knows. Okay, so this is the save party code, and then we have the load. Okay, so it's a public string. This is perfect. Let me see. Do we need it? We'll just put it in here. So we'll use this. Okay, here we are, party code. Load party. Load party code. Okay, so right now, as is, right, we have, oh crap, I don't know if I put it here. As is, we have the same thing. It's gonna work the same as always, because we don't have anything new, but we can now save that party code somewhere. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to ChatGPT to make sure we have that. Now we're gonna go through the setting up of the UI in Unity, and then I'll show you the rest. So if you want to skip, I'm going to try to fast forward through this. Let's see. Because in the future, what I'll do is, as an update to my game, when I go from SideQuest to the App Store, I'm trying to think, the App Store, yeah, when I go to Meta, I will change things. I will have a backend. I'll still use player press, but you won't use what I'm going to set up right now. We're going to use the setting screens. And the reason I don't have the setting screens right now is because I don't want to deal. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see what we do. Yeah, so we'll figure it out. But I'm going to set up a touchpad right here, like it's a secret code back here that if you find, you can add it. Okay, so we're going to use a canvas. Okay, so we have most of it set up. It's just these are all button presses. And now we're going to go into ChatGPT again to create the code. And I've done this before. So like I could go look at a previous game that I've done, but I want to show you how I would use ChatGPT to redo something I already done. Maybe I lost it. I don't want to think about it because I think it's very important in a scenario where you're working alone and you're like, I have no idea. And you can always ask ChatGPT to help you understand what it's spitting out and see if it actually works. Okay, so we have the keypad and we have these buttons that should work. Let me see, make sure. Do you have the UI interaction? Let me double check. Okay, so they are a little bit big. Oh, and a collider. So let's go into all these. I think it's just these guys. Let me make sure I don't. Okay. Okay, so we have the ones that are here in the keypad. Okay, and all these need to go down in size. 97 by 90. So let's say 90, 90. So 80, 80, 60 by 60. That's perfect. Okay. And I should probably prefab this, but for now it's just a temporary thing. So eventually I'll prefab it and then we can add it to where we want it. Okay, so we have, let's go to ChatGPT now. Okay, I need help creating the keypad that will save the code to the player pref. I need the party code is 5-digit long. I have UI with buttons for 0 through 9, a backspace button, a save button. I need to have this script set the next number for the code, for the party code. And if I'm trying to think what I want to do if the player doesn't fill it out. And if the player doesn't fill out a space, it will, when saving, the code will add zeros to it. I also need to load player prefs to fill the party code loaded into the pad. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. And I wasn't as good on this descriptive, but I think they should work. Okay, so we need to create this, which is good. And I'm just going to copy it as is. I'll double check it for sure. And scripts. This is for the player menu. We're going to say, oh, what was the party code? Oh, no, forgot. Crap. I copied it. I copied the thing twice. So let me first copy this before we go into anything. Party code keypad, and it's creating the script. Really copy pasted. We have the party code. We have the text display. I forgot to tell it. We're using we're actually using TextMesh Pro. So let me say, I forgot to tell it. We are actually using TextMesh Pro. Okay. And this is me being super lazy. Okay, so I'm like, how lazy can I be and get away with doing all this stuff? Oh, it didn't copy everything. Oh, it did. Okay. Okay, code display. Okay, so we start when it loads, we'll load the party code, and to see what's there, player press key. And the pref key is party code. Okay, that's good. Clear. If it's not null or empty, actually append the current code. Okay. Update display. It will show the string. And then call display. pad right. So pad whatever, yeah, the underscore. Okay, and then we need to add a space to the underscore. Yeah. Does it not let me? Okay. So that's one thing we need to catch because it'll look bad. Or let me see. Hold on. I can just change that in TextMesh Pro, I think. Yeah, because eventually we don't want to do anything with the string because it's going to mess up with the code. So that was my bad for doing that. So in the party code, I can't do spaces. I got to do there. 5. Okay. And there you go. 500. Okay. And then do like that so it can get bigger. Okay. And if we need more space, we just use it here. So this is crucial for so that you don't mess up the spacing because it's 5 digits. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. See? So these need to make sense like that. Okay, so we have that. Let's put in the party code. Party code keypad. Okay, so we have the mesh display. And then the other thing we need to do is press backspace, press number. Okay, so we have the numbers. So all we have to do now is in here, each one will have an interaction. UI interactor, like we did before. Straighten out my back, right? So I'll set the mic there. That way I can straighten out my back. Okay, so on finger left. So when we push it down is on finger detected, and when you pull it back is when you finish pressing. We're gonna do this party code. Okay, and I'm gonna save. Most of them are press number. Okay, so we have that. So the first one is a 7. Save party code. And then we're gonna do load. So the reason I omitted a specific piece is because I don't want Chat GPT to try to do it. I knew I'm gonna set it up. So this is like the second part of the tutorial that if you wanted to skip to, here we are. Okay, we are going to create a public join or load save scene, you could say, or whoopsie, reload scene with party code. Because if you change it, then we're going to reload. So it's going to reload with whatever you have. So if you want to trigger another scene load, you can. Like it's like a refresh. Reload scene. And if you change the party code, you changed it if not. Okay, so this needs to go with the same scene shared. And because we have it in here, we can just get it. Let me see. It's just loading. So in here, we have the door to the other. Okay, so what are we doing? Gate activation, scene transition. Okay, so we're gonna go in here. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna create a share scene transition and we're just gonna load the scene. But maybe not. What we're gonna do is, because we have to fade out too. And I'm trying to see if, yeah, this fades in. Okay. Okay, to next scene. It does all the, where it's coming from. And if it's coming from the same scene, transfer stats. Do you want to do that? I don't think it matters for now. So we might do our own scene. So we'll do a fade in. So we're going to copy this. So we're going to start going wait to fade. So not using system. I think that should be good. What's the system collections? That's okay. Okay, so we have this VR rig that we need to fade up, and so we need that. Fusion local rig. Okay. And this is just for the fade in. If you have another way to do the fade in, that's fine too. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this, we're gonna connect a runner. We're gonna say public async. We're just gonna copy this. Okay, watch. And this is specifically when loading the same scene. Once you set the party code and you start jumping from room to room, it'll work. The main thing right now that we're gonna do is connect to the same scene. Okay, we're gonna shut down the new connection. Do we need anything else in here? No, so we're not gonna do anything. Okay, if it's running, we're gonna do this. We're gonna store. We're gonna do another one that's like and current connection. Oh, no, because we need to have the data. So we're going to do in here, we're going to do a new container. So we're going to do all this first. Right. So we're going to, so the connection is going to be identical. Okay, current connection is running. And this is going to create a new connection. And this data, so we're going to create a new connection, the connection data. Reusable data. So this is just to store whatever the current data is again, because we're going to reuse this. Correct. Come on, active connection. So this active connection, we're going to use it as a new. And so then in here, we're going to reuse it. And so we're going to reuse all this information again, because it's the same scene index. So that way we don't have to like manually do it. Okay. And then the party ID comes from what we just updated, the player pref. So this works perfect. So the party code we have, the scene index is being reused. And so I think it's all being reused. On failed, do we want to use any of this? On initialized, we don't need any of that because we're not doing anything. On failed, it just didn't. I mean, if we wanted to, we could. We can do that later if you want to. If you want to redo stuff like on failed connection, you can do that. But for now, we're not going to do anything because I just want the minimum. Okay, so we're gonna. Oh, the other thing that we have to do. Okay, here it is. We can't just load the next scene. We have to go to the new scene and come back. So we're gonna do this. I'm trying to think of when. Oh, we can do that anytime, really. And okay, I don't need this. I don't need this. We do need scene management for this. This scene is 0, 1. Yeah, because we just loaded it. If you wanted to do a variable for that, you can. But for now, okay, so we're gonna load scene 1, which is the default. And this is gonna load, it's gonna take everything out. It's gonna unload the previous scene. It's just gonna load this. You already did the fade out. So this is gonna destroy the previous scene. And it's just gonna load that. We're gonna wait. And then we're gonna load the new stuff. So we're gonna do all the connection things. And let me double check. And then we're gonna, so do all this information stuff again, load the party code. And then we're gonna instantiate the runner. We're gonna figure all this stuff out. And we're gonna, we don't need this authentication. We're just gonna run. And that's it. Okay, and this, we can remove the authentication from here too, because we don't, I mean, in the future we might want to, but not right now. Too much of a hassle. Okay, so we have, okay, so in here, where's the, so let's leave this pin for now, the party keypad. And here, if we're not gonna do this, we're gonna do connect to same scene. So this is exactly what it means. It's just the same scene. We have this working. Now this pad, where's the pad? I'm gonna jump in to test it now and you'll see the information. Okay, so it's a moment of truth to see if we've done it. So in here we have the fusion rig. Okay, we have everything. And a good way to test it without the headset, we can, in the keypad, let me remove this, keypad. Oh no, copy component. Oh no, I already did it, so never mind, because I have all these guys on there. I don't want to redo that. So we have it. It's done. One last thing to test it. Let's say I don't want to test it with the VR headset. Context menu, and we're going to call it test private scene. So the way we're going to do this is test saving private code. And so we're going to do public one test join. You can make it like this too. It doesn't have to be public. And then we're going to save party code. And then, We can just go display. Let's see. Test join room. Okay, so test join room is reload scene. Oh, and I need to add it to the thing. But anyways, and then test loading session. Then we can do another one for saving and loading. Test saving. Test saving. Code. Party code. Party code. And this one will save party code. And because they're all thing, it'll just append the zeros. So it should work fine. It'll just be 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. So we'll have save and we'll have join. Okay, let's see. And then we'll check in here. I just gotta add the load functionality because I haven't done it yet. And then we're good to test. Let's see which one's the button. Okay, load. Reload scene. So this is if you just want to load the scene. If not, you can set it and then head out. So let's see how it works, how good it is. Loading. And you gotta be careful with player prefs because player prefs will save when you're testing in the editor. It's hard to edit them, so it'll save it, and there's a way to look it up, but it's just confusing because in the Quest, in the VR headset, once you delete the app, it'll delete the player pref, so you can always like reset it or whatnot. Okay, so the way we're gonna debug it, because I want to make sure that we are saving it and that it is loading. So the first thing we're gonna do is, in here we're gonna check the party code. Party code for new room is, so we're gonna always double check that. The other thing we want to do is this is loading the same thing. For new room is, and then in here we're gonna say connecting to the same scene, and then we'll see the party code ID after. So we can do this. So it's visible. You can change the color or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna use that as our proof of concept. So right now, when I first play, it should be empty. And the idea is that I'm gonna save it. It's gonna be 0, 0, 0, and it's gonna save in my player prefs. So when I hit, then I'll unpause, or I'll reload the scene, and then I'll close it, and so that we can see that it's saved. Okay, so we're gonna test everything in one go or in multiple 2 sessions, and I mean it's gonna work the same for the code. Okay, so it says going to next scene. Scene index is 2. Party code for new room is empty. Set up connection. Okay, now so it's empty. See how it says it, and it loads it. There's nothing. Now we're gonna, in the keypad, we're gonna go in here and say save party code. This should save it to 0, 0, 0. We see it replaces it and it saved it. The next thing we're gonna do is gonna go loading, test loading session. So we're gonna load the same scene. So it goes to the empty scene and then it's gonna load the new scene. Okay, and I'm in the same place. You won't be in the same place, it'll reload. But see here, it loaded party code 0. Loaded party code 0, 0. Bring on new room is, okay, same scene index is 2. You updating spells to load. About to spawn player last scene index. Okay, so now if I open and hit play, it should be 0, 0 again because it saved it. And that's the whole point. I know it seems like something so dumb, but once you have thousands of players coming into your game, this is gonna, it's gonna be great. And the main thing is people are not gonna appreciate this enough. But if you don't have it, people will complain. I'll tell you that. So make sure you understand what the player wants and to cater to their needs so that you can make a lot of money or have fun making your game, and people will have fun playing your game as well. Okay, so some things that I caught after I finished that recording that I wanted to share with you because I feel it's important. I want to make sure that you see, no, I'm not gonna say polished because nothing's perfect. There's always room to improve and things are always like not as good as you want it to be, but there is that process that's continued. And so I don't want to just do a one-off recording and leave it at that. And even after this, you might have other questions. But let's go over where we left off, some things that I forgot, and then I'll show you at the end how it's all working. I made the prefab now, and here we added join public room. And one thing that I realized that I might do, depending on feedback, is I might just have join private and join public. Because save code, it is useful, because then you just, the next time you move to the next scene, it'll be that code. So you could, if this is the menu pop-up, I imagine players will be like, okay, well, let's party up, because we just played this room together, and I think it'll be fun to play together. Okay, so I'm gonna press 5555, Okay, and then when you jump through the gate, that's the code you're going to be. So it's your party code. So you don't have to join private again. You could, but you could just go straight through and continue playing as if. So that's the whole point of save code, is that it'll save it and you'll move forward to the next scene. So that's my thought, but we'll see how it goes with testing. If you like to test the game, you have a VR headset, you can join our Discord for early access or go to SideQuest to try the game. So we added the join public, and we added some features after I was testing a little bit. We updated the code a bit. So let me zoom in. We added this pressing button. This is specifically for VR. When you do on-trigger enter for detection or even collision, you want to make sure that it registers only once, or you register the first time it goes through and then you wait, because you don't want multiple triggers happening constantly. So that's something you have to check. This is how I do it. I have a Boolean. And so every time you press the button, it'll check if the button's being pressed. And then we start a coroutine to enable the button. And this is for the function, because we could also do it in the physical button. That might be a better option, right? So if I were to single responsibility and improvement, because I have to do this everywhere in here or every other code, instead I could do it in the UI interaction. So that's something that I'm going to do later. But again, this is an iterative process. And first you want it to get functioning. Then you want to polish it and see where you can improve your code. And every time I look at my code, I'm like, there's ways to fix this. And so as you go, you think of things that, oh, I forgot to do this or I forgot to do that. But it's important to play test. The other tip I want to share with you guys is that it doesn't matter how good you are at coding. I'm a computer science major, and I don't think myself as a good coder either. I've seen a lot of developers that are way better than me through college and stuff. And even I've worked with pros, people that knew what they're doing. They were like super certified. Like they wrote the Unity test certifications. Okay, so I worked with them. And you know what happened is I ended up replacing them because they could not deliver on a product. So just because you know how to do something doesn't mean you know how to finish a game. And that's why I started this videos, because it's like this YouTube channel, because it's just knowing is not enough. I mean, knowing code or being a pro like coding, because you have to be able to finish what you started. And there's a different process for games. It's not just coding. There's a lot more involved. And if you're not iterating, you're not testing, you're not putting it together, you can't just code for a year and suddenly it works. So that's one thing. I personally have seen it. I've replaced those Unity certified guys, and I'm not certified by Unity. And you've seen my code is not the best, but what I'm trying to get across is the iteration and getting it in the device. That's the biggest thing, is you'll replace way smarter guys if you're able to actually show what you can do, because I've seen that. So with let's see, we have the joining public session now, not just clears it, but it also saves the clear state, and then it waits. The same for loading, not loading, the one for reloading the scene. When you go into, this is when you load that party code, it saves it as well, and then it goes to the same scene. Okay, so technically we don't need the save party code feature because all these other ones do it in one way or another, but it's good to have in case we, like I mentioned the scenario. You always want to have the player in mind. And that's one of the reasons why you want to kind of think about that when you're picking the multiplayer this network solution, because certain network solutions have different ways of joining and matchmaking that might be appealing to you. Okay? So let me show you how it's working. We did some tests in the video, but I want to show you with a headset. I made a build, and we're going to test it out live. I'm going to discard the changes. I'm going to see where I'm at. I'm not sure if I'm clear or 0, or let's see what room code I have saved, because again, it's the player prefs. And okay, so it's 62452. Okay, so I'm going to go into headset, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to enter that specific lobby. And then I'm going to change it so that you could see. Okay, let me enter. Just want to make sure you see. Yeah, well, there it is. I'm right here. Oh, I'm in the same room because I have the same pad, the same code. So I'm going to, oh, hold on. So let me see. Let's go into, we'll do 0, because I was testing this early. That's why I have the same code. So I'm going to join a public, seeing how it cleared it. And then there's, oh, I don't think I have, something's off. So I'll have to fix that. I'm right there. Okay, so I'm in clear. So it's a public lobby, which if I join, it'll be the same. And I'll have to fix that Boolean. So see, we're here, same code. Let's say we do the 0, now. The party code is empty right now. And let's see, we're gonna go in here, and we're gonna do loading session, test loading session. And it should make them all zeros. And in here, oh no, it didn't load him. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I'm still here. So let's see if I can remember what I did. That's not working. Okay, keypad, party code. let's see what I have testing. Save party code. Oh yeah, because I save it and that creates the 0, 0. So I need to change the logic so that when I load, it does that behavior for 0, 0. But let's say now we're going to load that session and it'll be 0, 0. So again, see, that's why I'm testing. There's two things I need to fix is that null reference. And when I load the private scene and there's no number, no empty spaces, it'll be 0, 0. So then I'll join it in here. I'm going to do the same thing, save the code and then join private. And I should be coming in. Yep, I'm right there. See, so, and we'll probably change how we load and save, but that is the gist of it. The other thing that I haven't done that I need to do is in the keypad. So if I go in the keypad, I don't have logic for, I don't have visual UI feedback, and I don't have haptics and audio feedback. So I need to work on those to make sure that I have that. So it's all set. So the player knows what's going on. The buttons are being pressed and it works. And I also need to fix bugs. But that's the gist of it. The code is working. It's just there's a few things I need to tweak. And that's the main thing is like if I was in the code all the time, no matter how much experience I have, it's hard to really find those edge cases. And yes, in other games, you'll have playtesters, QA teams that will test your game for you. But at this point, when you're starting out, like there's a lot of bugs before you even get started. And so iterating on your own really fast helps a lot. If you need help with your game and your network solutions, or you're trying to figure something out with scene transitions, comment below. What do you use for your network solutions? What do you do for party matchmaking? Have you done it before? And if you need help finishing your games, I help people. I have a community called Endgame Devs where I do all this stuff and help you finish your games and help you understand how to apply these principles to your game so you can finish faster. So we'll see you on the next video.